5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Strange Planet Podcast.
What the?
Nope. Alright.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Strange Planet Podcast, the strangest of all the podcasts on the strangest of all the planets. We are your hosts. This is...
I don't know who I am. Corey James.
I'm James May.
And I'm Anthony Zevatek. Thanks for hanging out with us.
We got Bad Red in the red.
I'm looking at the live feed right now, and it is not us. That is for sure. Oh, there we are. Kind of. Anyway,
Well,
we have some technical difficulties going on
we might
right
have
now.
to back out if it's not
Back
working.
in sad.
because-
We might start this over again. Take 2.
Let me see if it's that bad.
I don't know. You can't have dead air, so I'm going to keep talking. Teddy Grahams were one of the best snacks that I ever encountered in my life.
As a child or currently?
As currently, in my entire life, Teddy Grahams. A snack made out of in the shape of a teddy bear. There's nothing better than that. Let's just be honest here.
They're tasty. Is that something you currently keep in your home at all times?
This
Yes.
sucks.
Flavor of Teddy Graham. Is it the honey, the chocolate, or the chocolate
Just
chip?
the honey, just the straight
The honey?
regular Teddy Graham.
Agreed.
Because it's
Agreed.
a fucking Teddy Graham. It's like a graham cracker. It's not only like that's your thing. It's a cookie or a cracker. It's a fucking graham cracker. Like a teddy bear. You got me like, wow, I have to leave now and go get Teddy Grahams.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure as soon as this podcast is over, most of our listeners are going to be getting Teddy Grahams.
I think I'm leaving right now for sure.
Since the feed's not working, let me tell you a little something about myself. I am not afraid of water. Let me just say that.
You know, that's good.
I eat vegetables daily. How about that?
I don't know. Let's fucking go. Screw it.
Let's fucking go. Screw it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Strange Planet Podcast, the strangest of all the podcasts on the strangest of all the planets. We are your host, and we've already introduced ourselves, so let's jump right into the show. But
32 years of cops and it's over.
Before that, let me just say, if you leave a like, even though this episode is going to be the most clusterous, fuckerous ever,
Yeah,
leave a like, make a comment, subscribe to the Suicide Moses Productions YouTube channel. You can tag us all on YouTube. It's the whole thing. And now on with the show. And as Corey alluded to, it was announced this past week that the television show Cops is being canceled after 32 years on the air.
Paramount putting the kibosh on the coppers.
And
Yeah.
of course, this is because let's be honest, the television show Cops tends to glorify police brutality. Let's be honest. Let's not act like none of us have ever watched the television show Cops
Love
and found enjoyment
Cops.
in
Yeah.
the meth head.
But yeah, we getting his fucking ass beat. Like,
Dude.
I'm sorry, but it's so bad to say that now. Like, we come off of last week's, and I'm sad Cops is gone. I'm
Dude,
sorry.
I
because,
watch
like,
Cops
as we
all
watch
the time.
they're not fucking dumb. They're producers. They're making money. It's a show. It's on television. So they're not showing, like, the really bad shit. And the people who are getting it, you're like you fucking deserve that.
Well, and then
You know?
there's True TV has their television show. It's called Live PD, where you follow certain police precincts live. They live broadcast just as much as we are doing.
Which is
right
that
now.
okay? So, like, let's look into this in a serious manner rather than joking about it. Is that propagandic? Is that a word?
Propaganda.
Is that is that
Propagandizing? Is that a word?
Are you giving us what you want us to see with those live precinct cop shows? You know, because we know it's television. It could be scripted. They couldn't even be. They might.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what I
Courtney
mean?
always
Like-
said that it was scripted. She never liked watching it with me because she's like, this is just too much. It's too
Well, but think
unreal.
about,
And I'm
okay,
like,
have
I
you
think it's
ever-
real.
Have you ever been in Highlands Hospital on a fucking like Friday, first of the month?
Yeah.
No.
I have. Cripes almighty.
Yeah.
Wow. You'll see some of the weirdest pillhead bullshit you've ever seen. Like, I'm in here for a cut on my finger. There's a guy having a heart attack, and you're like, why is he laying down? He's just sleeping. I got a cut on my finger. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? So, like, cops deal with people like that. And that's what you see in
Yeah.
cops. You see the
But
outrageous
we're not
shit.
but we're not talking about the cops at Highlands Hospital. We're talking about the television show Cops.
Yes, that's
so
my thing.
let's bring it back full circle. Does anybody recollect a favorite moment of the past 32 years of television? Is there anything that you've seen on the television show Cops that has stuck out in your brain for the rest of your life?
I mean, it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, I can't point.
They all blend together. If you've watched any, like, if you just, like, there's a channel on this app that I watched that's just Cops 24/7. And I just
Yeah.
put it on, and it'll just run in the background, and you'd never be able to discern one episode from the other.
Agree. I can hear us.
Sorry, that was my bad.
Like,
Yeah, quit that
talk-
feed.
I'm listening
Sorry,
to
I was
myself.
checking to see if my mic was even working on the stream.
Oh
No,
my.
for me, as I look at Cops, it is like what I remember of it. You always see the. This is what I love about it. You see the like, oh my, I'm fucked look in people's faces, and because a lot of Cops, it's not that it's scripted; it's that people really say things like that. Well, no, that's not my crack.
Even though it just they pulled it out of your butt crack.
It was someone I didn't even know it was there. Like, really? No, I didn't.
Dude, there was
And
an
they're
episode.
all like, and then they look at them like, you know.
There was an episode where this kid gets pulled over by these two twin blonde chick cops, and he's like going to one of it, like a band gig or something, and they pull him over and they find like a ton of weed on him, and they start talking to him all nice, and they find out that he's in a band and everything, and they're like, oh, we too were in a band for a long time, and we sang in a duet. Can we see your guitar? And they start just playing in the middle of an alleyway for him.
Okay,
And then
so
they
see,
hand-
now
and then
that's-
they let him go.
That's the scripted part.
And you're like,
let's take it off on what Corey just
Can that be real?
said the story, and how much of that television show
May have
was
been fabricated
scripted.
like that.
No, was scripted. I mean,
reality
it had
TV
to
is
have
reality TV. I mean,
Yeah, at that point.
been. Yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, and that's to say, like Live PD, which is on now, is probably what Cops was in the beginning.
In the
Let's say
first couple seasons.
1989.
Because-
I wasn't.
Yeah,
I
early
wasn't-
Cops, for
I
sure.
wasn't alive in 1989. I don't know what television was like. So I can't say what that early Cops was, but it probably is more like what Live PD is. But in the years that followed, as Cops went into the 13th, 14th, 15th season of the show, how much of it became scripted? How much of it were actors and twin blonde cops
Yeah,
Dude, that was the
playing-
worst episode ever.
I'm
who
sure.
played music in the past and then pulled over somebody who plays music currently, and they all played music together. How much of that
That's
entire
like-
show was just nothing but
Oh, it was bad. Should it be canceled?
It should. It should.
Because
At
of
this
what's
point,
going
if they're
on.
scripting it, no,
not for
because
those
it's scripted.
reasons.
I
Not
didn't
if it
know
got
was
bad.
scripted.
But
If
for
it's
what
scripted, then
going
it's
on?
Reno 911.
Right.
That's
yeah,
what it
exactly.
is.
It's Reno 911 for what they want you to see.
Cops is
Right.
one of the longest running shows of all time.
It goes The Simpsons, Law and Order, Cops, and then Monday Night Raw are like the
Wow.
top 4 longest running television shows in the history of the world.
Which Law and Order? Because there's like 6 different ones.
The original, the Law and Order.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
So,
I don't think.
but
it should
it's
be
it's
canceled.
up there. But in today's climate, let's not think about an entertainment kind of aspect. In today's climate, with what's going on in the world, is it an appropriate television show to have?
Dude, the reality TV. Period.
Is
Reality
that, is
TV
it
is
necessary?
the inappropriateness. That's why people watch reality TV. They want to see some chick ripping off some other chick's hair and beating her to death. They want to see a racist dude calling out another dude and then them beating each other up in a mansion. They want to see a cop tackling a crackhead with no teeth. Like, I mean, if you're going to get rid of one reality show because it's inappropriate, get rid of them all.
Right,
James-
because none of them are appropriate.
Right.
James, I want to ask you this question: is it with everything we see on social media, with the actuality of what we're seeing, is there any place for a television show like this?
I mean, not unless it is. Okay, I don't like cop shows, but I like cops. And the only reason, because I did grow up with cops. I was born in '87, so and I watched TV every evening, and fucking Cops was on, of course, because in our youth, Fox was a more
Oh, that's all it was.
sitcom and
Fox
stuff.
Kids
You know
and
what it
Saturday
was?
morning.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fox was way more prevalent in our youth than it is now. It's like Fox, I'm watching a fucking Fox show. I watch football on Sundays or whatever because there's a football game on Fox, but it's I liked it because it was more like your real life shows. But in this current climate, maybe don't show them. It makes sense. And if there is, don't make it up. If there is another one that comes out, because I saw this goes to the police brutality stuff, but with the climate, you said the climate. I like your usage of that. It's nice you use it. I keep overusing it. But in Norway, they haven't killed a person in 10 years. They're cops because they don't really have any problems like that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, cops don't even carry
they're-
guns, right?
I think in Norway they do.
Oh, in Norway?
actually.
What is it, Britain
Yes.
they don't?
Yes, Britain, they don't
Yes.
have guns. And they haven't killed anybody
Well, yeah.
in a long time, which is great. But, no, so yes, if it is, okay and true and real and, documentary, but that also, why exhaust the money and effort to do it? We don't really need to see that. You can, if I now live in an urban area, I can see that on a daily basis.
Just look out your window.
I could take a 15-minute drive and I would see somebody being shaken up on the road.
Right.
And that's not, and I'm not saying that crime is prevalent, but it's also this time too. You know what I mean? So with the COVID, people are back out. There's all of that as well. So I don't need to see it on TV.
Right.
My entertainment is fake shit. I want to see sci-fi.
If
Yeah.
we're canceling Cops because of what's going on, and it's Cops, one of my favorite bands has come out this past weekend and decided
about
that they are going to change their name. After 8 years of being City Cop, they're changing their name. I don't agree with that either. And if they're going to do it, then what about the Police? The Police have platinum albums. They've been around since the 80s. Are they going to change their name?
I don't think it's gonna go that far.
Well,
I think
Just call him
I think
Sting.
there's- I think there's.
Just
I
call
think
him
there's-
Sting. That's what he wanted anyhow. Oh, dude, it's a conspiracy. Sting did it.
I think there's two different levels there between the police and City Cop as far as records sold and an identity and
But
maybe
but
what
still-
City Cop is. Maybe what
There's no
City Cop
difference.
is trying to accomplish.
Don't
as a
pander
statement.
to the semantics of that.
That's
it's
what I'm-
the same basic. His argument is the fact that they're called City Cop or the police, because like everybody knows that there's probably that one City Cop that's everybody's buddy. That's like, if it's a city enough, you know what
Yeah.
I mean. I'm not like for like being a crooked cop that's not like hurting anybody. It's
Right.
just, yeah, you can get away with doing that. I don't care because you won't say that I have hookers. I bang the hookers that get shot. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's like that. But it's the same thing. The connotation is the police.
Well,
City Cop.
my thing with
So
those
why
two,
take away? It's like hiding the Holocaust. There's no
It's-
reason. The past is the past, so you can't. You don't have to have your name like you're called City Cop because it is a revolt name.
right?
I
That's
would
what
say-
I'm saying. This at least
Yeah.
City Cop is like more in the rebellion side of music. The police, they probably named themselves the police because of a positive message.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Say that.
I
I
don't
have
know.
no
either.
I don't
idea.
know.
I know that I
and-
read that City Cop named themselves that because they were like 14 years old and they couldn't think of a band name, so they put in the internet random band name and it came up City Cop, and they were like, okay. So
Much
it doesn't.
respect. That's actually the same way that Eiffel 65 garnered their name. And I'm blue, Iba D, Iba die.
So listen up. Here's the story.
There you go. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye to the television show Cops. 32
See you
years
later.
on the air.
I had
At
fun.
11
I had
o'clock.
fun.
11 o'clock on a Saturday. We knew where to find you. That's all I can say about that television show.
Peace out, coppers.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hey, just so
next
you guys
up-
know,
Did
our
we just
stream
leave?
is green now. So I just needed to let it alone for a while. So everybody that's
There you
watching
go.
us, hey, you can see us.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
Corey, why don't you bring us into our next topic? Bring us up to speed on what's going on with SpaceX.
Last week we talked about some important things, and it was a great podcast, but we didn't get to touch on a positive note that was happening on the day that this was all erupting. I got to watch the live stream. I don't know if you guys got to watch the live stream of the...
I started.
It was amazing. The shuttle... I can't remember what it's called now. Crap. But anyway, the SpaceX shuttle something took off. It was the first Americans to go to the space station since like 8 years ago,
Yeah, I believe you're correct with that.
something like that. So it was a big deal. It was fun to watch. It was it's crazy that like it feels like it's been a while, and to see it happen so smoothly this time was nice. It seems like they're getting better, which is good to see. Like we
Yeah.
should be
Well,
getting
and
better.
Too, the first automated docking.
Yeah,
That's
that was
big.
amazing to
That's
watch.
very big.
Just big stuff. Like I mean, it's like a weird. It was such a weird thing to see all the protest videos and all of that going on, and then a few people online being like, "But look, like we're sending people into space."
It sure felt like the late '60s for a couple of days last week.
Yeah.
Civil unrest and a space launch.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and
Falcon
you
9.
know,
Falcon,
Is that Falcon
love
9?
it.
Falcon 9.
I love the idea of going out there and seeing what's going on, and Elon Musk working with NASA. Was it? No, I'm sorry. Am I correct in
Yeah.
that?
He
Elon
funded.
Musk was working with NASA
He
on
funded.
this.
I'm pretty sure he funded and paid basically the team of NASA employees to do this.
Okay.
So that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
Elon Musk is kind of a douche, but at least he's sending people into space.
Elon Musk is kind of a douche, but he's sending people into space.
He's getting people away
Should
from this.
probably be the quote of the show. That should, if you remember anything, please remember that line right there. Mayday, let me ask you, what are you hoping to find out there? Anything? What are we looking for, buddy?
Well, there's nothing to really look for here. I mean, that's kind of obvious. At this point, I think the hope for anybody who has the thought of being in space, which I know that I do, is the chance to do it commercially. Like
Right.
that's what this is. As I was watching it, I said I tried to watch the launch. I saw a feed, and I watch it. They're like, they're closing the door, they're closing the hatch right now. Currently, they're closing the hatch. Well, that's the thing. That there's a process. It's a process, and there's like people, and I'm watching it. So they do all of that. That takes like 6 minutes or so, and it was well, that was sooner than we thought.
Oh, dude, it was.
And then he's like, "Are you ready? Yeah, okay, check this." He's like, "Yeah, check that." So the guy like writes something on his pad. Yeah, check.
It was definitely a take a nap kind of thing.
And the next guy says, "All right, cool. Well, we started countdown. That's got about an hour and a half. Got about an hour and a half." I was like, "All right, well, I'll come back at time like 8 and took a nap," because it was on a Saturday at like
Right.
1, and they were worried about rain anyhow. But no, my thing with finding it out there's anything we can go off on what
Yeah.
aliens could be, but
Yeah.
I just hope for the ability to go up to a space station
Would
and go into it and look at Earth.
yeah,
That
does it
would be
interest
fucking
you?
cool as
That'd
shit,
be
and
so
see the
awesome.
moon and see
Yep.
the Earth. And I'm not talking. I think that is our fucking human right. Like that's not a
Yeah.
let me pay $100,000 to get the chance to go float on the orbit. No, give me a 6-hour thing. Take me up and
Yeah.
I get to float there for an hour.
Right.
And
Yeah, I
I'll
think
pay
there's,
for
I
the
think-
training. I'll pay for the training to do it because you have to do that. Like you have to pass a test. So
I think our generation, especially, is so fascinated with space because we've been drip fed all
See,
these great
it's the only
things
next
over
place.
the year.
It's the only next place.
Yeah.
Space
Yeah.
is the place for the human race, Corey. If
Yeah.
you'll get that King Gizzard reference.
That's
you
a good
know.
album. Good song.
So, Corey, with everything going on with SpaceX, and in the last couple of months, we've had reports of the Air Force has confirmed UFO sighting,
Yeah.
and a parallel universe has been discovered where everything runs backwards as to what we are right now, and with SpaceX launching and hopefully colonizing whatever, and Mars still being explored. I mean, where are we going, buddy? Like, what are we doing out there?
Probably not far. Probably not
Yeah.
much. I mean, we can bear. It's taken how many years just to get us back on a ship to get to the space station that's
Yeah.
orbiting Earth. So, I mean, are we going to Mars anytime soon? Human beings? Probably not. I don't see.
10 years?
I see.
I'd say 10.
I see
10 makes
people
sense.
making it in 10 years. I don't see commercially
No.
regular,
Right,
Tom,
of course.
Dick, and Harry going in our lifetime.
What about Sandra
No,
and
no Sandra.
Lucy and Molly? Like, what the hell, man? You said Tom, Dick, and Harry. That was all that was on you.
Is
Nope.
this the Mambo number 5 podcast?
Yes, it was. Yes,
It
it
was?
was. Brought to
A
you
little bit of
by.
Mary all night long.
But I mean, and my hope is that I mean, like everyone, like the general consensus of the show has been, is that we're all looking to go there. And I mean, let's explore. And I know that like there was another report like 2 days ago from when we're filming, which is the 10th of June. But there was a report that there was another signal that was caught from deep space. And are these signals that are originating from somewhere, or are they our signals eventually bouncing back and coming to us?
They're not our signals. They're
They
supernova
can't be.
and different
Yeah.
radiation spots.
Right.
I mean, they could be, but yeah, you're right. I was just gonna say they couldn't be our signals because we would have the ability to at least figure out, okay, those are about basically the same frequency that bounce back or whatever. I would think there's enough math to do that.
yeah.
Because like it's still like we all know somebody who doesn't believe in space. I don't understand that idea.
Doesn't believe in
Like,
space.
Yeah. What is that shit about?
right?
Is this
and
the
it-
Truman
it's-
Show?
That's not
Is that what
real.
this is?
It's so fascinating and like unfathomable. That's why I hope in my lifetime, like that makes me want to be healthier. To be
Yeah.
able to maybe go into space in the fucking 50-year, because 20 years, have enough money, because we know that the money is going to be the thing, not going to.
Right.
Well, it's definitely going to be.
Dead in 16.
It's definitely going to be a mixed bag. I mean, you're going to
Oh, I
have
got
to have.
upgraded.
You're going to have the money and the stamina. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a whole thing. It's gonna
That
be a whole
sounds like
thing.
that sounds like a prostitution ad.
the money
You
and the
need to
stamina.
have the money and the stamina.
That's what I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Them's fancy ladies. Speaking of fancy ladies, there's been a whole bunch of right-wing conservative dickheads who are upset about certain Confederate statues being dumped into rivers. So if nobody has been following along since the last podcast, of course, we're going through quite the turmoil period of our nation where there's two different thoughts
Let me just.
going right now.
Can I say that
Of course.
I have seen so many awesome positive things happening because of the continued protests. And
Yes.
that is awesome. I just
Yes.
want to say that it is kind of working. Things are happening.
no.
The LAPD taking like 50% of funding to the city and putting it into poor and minority areas and stuff is huge.
Yeah. New York City passing
Yeah.
legislation that if you
The no
file
choke.
a false police report based on race, that you are going to be charged with.
Was
it
it them that did the no choke thing too? They passed
Yeah,
the no.
yeah,
the
they
no-
they did the Eric Garner
Yeah.
law as well, where no chokeholds are to be used in police apprehension, and things are happening, and we're getting there. But and it's one of the most poetically beautiful things that's been happening that doesn't really get a lot of television time, is that in southern states there are monuments erected to these Confederate generals and Confederate war heroes
And just icons of that
Icons.
movement.
Right. And in the past week, they have been coming down and toppling like a Jenga tower. And it has been one of the most cathartic things to
Right.
see. To see a statue that represents oppression and the goodness of oppression encapsulated in this statue, to see it come down to the ground and be thrown into a fucking river is one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen in my entire lifetime.
Correct me if
It
I'm
was
wrong.
that
but
was
didn't another statue, like a year or two ago, a Confederate statue get like defaced
Yeah,
or
I believe,
destroyed or
one
something,
of the-
and everybody was up in arms about it.
One of the Robert E. Lee statues, I believe, was ripped down a year ago, if not a little longer. I might be mistaken.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, James.
No, I didn't. I wasn't really like going for anything. I was waiting my turn,
Good.
sitting patiently. No, it is nice to see that for sure. I always am an advocate of history. Okay, and there is only one place that they could ever be at
Museum.
this point is a museum.
Right.
And there isn't. I personally don't see. I might get flack for it. You can disagree with me, but if you want to keep them for what they are, as a remnant of the past, which is a dark past,
Right. You have
and
to
I
learn
don't
from
think
your
that
mistakes.
I don't think the past should be forgotten, but it doesn't need to be publicly displayed in a place where everybody and anybody can feel welcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there could.
Well, you're
if you wanna put
glorifying it.
If you want to put it into a room where you're like, hey, this is a sensitive area. If you're looking at this stuff from this time period, you can come see it. Okay, because it is the history, and that's where
Yeah.
people who are like, well, it's our history, it's our heritage. Well, when you say heritage, that's where you're fucking yourself, because you're saying that's a part of me.
Right.
Right.
Because isn't that supposed to be something that is like endearing to us all? So
Yeah.
there is no reason to have them publicly there. So like you said, when I saw that video, I was like, this is fake. And I was like, wait, no, holy fuck, no, it's not.
Right.
And they're just like, you see the adrenaline and excitement, and it's not an angry mob. It is a joyful, cheerful
It's a celebration.
Yeah.
group
No,
of,
you're
of
We're
people. You
changing.
know what I mean? And that's the misconception of people. Like, if you're the excitement of like that moment is not violent. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and there are people who are showing up to peaceful protests to show that, well, we have guns and we're going to protect monuments and shit. And you're like, no,
right.
you're here
Well,
to
and that's-
wave your dick. It's
You're
a
exactly
pissing
right.
match
And it's you
for
know,
no reason.
The statues like that, they're not celebrating anything. They're glorifying a very terrible time. There's no Adolf Hitler statues in Germany.
Right.
There's no Joseph what was it, Goebbels? Am I correct in saying
Goebbels
that? Goebbels.
in Germany.
There's no statues of him in Germany. They don't do that shit because they're not trying to promote or celebrate or
That isn't ironic.
acknowledge
Could you
a
imagine?
fucking terrible time in that country, which is the same thing that we shouldn't be doing, which is why these statues are being taken down. I mean, I don't think there's any way that you can, like, if you say that it's a bad thing, I mean, you're just a terrible person. I mean, that's just my opinion.
They should, as James said, they should be in a museum. That is where they should have been a long time ago.
A long time ago.
And
Exactly.
and
that's the thing. They should still be existing.
well,
Go ahead.
that's the
Sorry, not to
change.
interrupt you.
That's the change that is happening right now.
Mhm.
Is
It
showing
should have been.
that we're not going to just allow the dismissive letting things happen idly and just kind of happen. Oh, well, you know, they're not harming us, so let's just let it be. No, we need to get
Right.
to a point now where this is behind us. We've cleared it. It's over. Like,
You see it.
right.
Everybody sees it. There's no reason for the contest. The contest.
The
Here it
cuntness.
is. It's been brought to the forefront, and like you said, Anthony, if you disagree with the movement as a whole, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And
Simple.
that's on a very broad level.
Yeah.
And I've only really totally grasp. Even when we spoke last week, I've been very pretty reserved. But it's more of a no, it is right or wrong at this point.
Right.
And
yeah.
it's not, and I'm not trying to say anything other than the way I view it currently is it's not really a cops versus black people.
It's not an opinion.
It's
No.
it's the government versus the citizens.
Right. I mean, and that's
As,
you know,
and that's
there's-
the saddest thing to watch people I know, and I know want to think they're okay, not be okay.
Yeah.
And
There's a
think
certain-
other things like that. It's so weird. I'm like, no, just no, stop all of that. There's no pandering. This is
Right.
bad, and you need to stop. Sorry, I'm done. Go ahead.
There's a certain group of people out there that would want you to believe that all lives matter, but you know, and then when you try to bring up the point of the oppression and the suffering that the African American community has gone through compared to the white community, they don't see it, they don't understand. But
Our
it's a
sight,
matter
our
of
mind.
time. It's a matter of time until it starts happening to all of us.
Well, it's
Whether we
2
be
weeks ago,
white-
the white people around me were revolting and up in arms, like, you can't make me wear a mask. The government's
Right.
corrupt. Let's tear down the
Yeah.
government. Let's protest these masks. And then 2 weeks later, when there's human beings being murdered and they're trying to fight for their right to live, then all of a sudden you're going, well, you guys are out there protesting. What happened to the COVID? Are you not afraid of it anymore? And it's like,
right.
you were just mad because of respecting
you
other
be afraid.
people and wanting to wear not wanting to wear a mask.
And that's the systemic problem in this country. That's the hierarchy of the few over the many, and they really hold on to it, and they really try to exploit it, and voter suppression and redistricting and all of that. It plays a big part of it, which it's just a big problem. You know, it's
I have to say something. I actually listened to a podcast today because since we've started doing this again, I've yelled at you guys personally, and I think on the cast that it's opened my empathetic mind again. You know, I've think if we're gonna talk about this stuff, I have to really assess it as a human being and what I think is right or whatever. So I don't want to. Everybody's like, "Oh, you should listen to this podcast that tells you stories about how people die." Like, no, I want current events. I think a podcast needs to be something.
It's hard to find them.
Who are talking about something going on right now.
It's hard to find
And whatever it
podcasts
is.
talking about important things. It is hard to find them.
So I went with educational, and I found one called 1619, and it's a journalist of the New York Times, I believe, and she covers she talks about in the very beginning. It's the White Lion pirate ship who needed to stop on the coast to trade and sold the first 20 human beings to the colonies in 1619.
Pretty wild.
And it's it documents the oppression of all peoples, mainly black people in America. And it is, I listened to 2 episodes and I just started the 3rd. It is very good. And it's historically great. And there's a guy who talks about his grandfather being owned by Thomas Jefferson. She talks about how, and this is how deep your people who say, I love America and it's America, like you say with the up in arms about fucking your virus. And then now you're like, well, why are you protesting? the southern, I think it was Virginia and the Carolinas, which is just one. So Carolina, Virginia, and what would it have been?
It's all the
I do
same.
believe
It's all the same.
they refused to sign the Declaration of Independence because he added a part about slavery not being cool, to put it in layman's terms. And they said, we're not going to sign it. So he took it out, and then they signed it. So then it goes into that, and they talk about how in 1837 there was a recession after the fact that you could mortgage your land on the people you own.
No.
And after that, there was no weight to that. It is ridiculous the amount, and like, I'm like I said before in the last one, I'm naive to the fact that like with the civil rights movement, I'm like, well, that happened, that's cool. But no, it never fucking ended. And all of that has been there, and it's in the government. That's the point of all of the thing. It's when you say about the police, absolutely it's the police, because the police are funded by the local government. And the local government is funded by the state. The state government is funded by the federal. And it's all funded by our taxes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all of the whole government doing that continually from that very beginning. Like it was the recession happened and you couldn't sell the Mexico. It was like, well, fuck it, we're just gonna forget about it and let people move on to keep the institution, because cotton is the number one commodity in the world. Like you have to listen to that podcast. It's on Spotify. 1619.
1619. Everybody,
Definitely
check it out if you can. Corey, real quick, give me your real raw emotion thoughts on those statues being taken down.
I mean, it was pretty cool. I weirdly saw a picture right before I saw the picture of the Confederate statue being toppled, of a statue of Yoda that's like maybe the Lucasfilms place or something, but somebody spray painted it, and they spray painted underneath of it Black Lives Matter, they do. And I was like, I chuckled, and then I scrolled down, and like instantly it was like, a Confederate statue got toppled, and there's just comment after comment of people like, this is history. Why would someone destroy history like this? And it blows my mind. I don't know why. Time after time with everything that's happening, where my mind instantly goes to, well, it probably shouldn't have been there to begin with. It should be in a museum. And then I start reading the comments, and people are like mad about it, and I'm surprised that they're mad about it. Like, why is it so difficult for a large group of human beings to not see other human beings as less? Like, I can't even begin to understand. Like, you can say that it was how you were raised, your upbringing and stuff, but I was in that. Not so much as I was raised to look at everybody as equals, you know, but I was around it enough to understand that that's what most people around me thought, and I didn't grow up that way. I was cool with everybody. I hate everybody equally, and I tolerate everybody equally. Like, I don't know. So the statue falling was just, the statue falling was just like, it was awesome, and they should all be gone. I'm surprised that there are still places that have those. Like, why? But the surprising part of the whole thing, and the disappointing part, is that I'm still, every time I'm reading something like this, I'm taken back by the amount of people that are upset about it.
Right.
And not celebrating, as James said. Not the joyous people, you know, like this was a celebration, not the hate. There was no hate when they did this.
It's happy to do. You're happy to do it.
Right. It's pushing towards change. It's pushing towards what we should have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because at this point,
acknowledging the struggle of others.
well, and it's also, I had a thought I have to, before we move on, I know you're trying to wrap it up because we're pushing an hour. But to add to that, I had to jot it down. It's like when you go visit Gettysburg. I'm not sure, I haven't been there, but are both flags flying?
I don't
Are
know.
they not?
Yeah.
Because I don't think they are. But no, my thing is the point is when you have a dark past as far as a war, the whole monuments of the Confederacy, if you want to talk historic, you don't fly the flag of the victor. In any sort of battle, the flag of the winner is flown. And the whole point, if you want to like take all of what it was about, fought for, it was the Union wanted to keep those states.
Yeah.
And mainly at that point, if you listen to that podcast, she talks about how there was a whole plan to emigrate freed slaves to their home countries, which they were all fucking born in America anyhow. This was their home country. It's good. But anyhow, that being said, you don't fly the flag of the loser. You fly the flag of the winner. So why are there still statues?
Yeah. I think as a general consensus of this podcast, I think every monument of a bygone era that oppressed a very important
Millions.
culture and number of people in this country should be taken down.
Yeah.
I feel I don't speak alone when I say that.
Nope.
And we're gonna end this. We're gonna do we're gonna do a little positive to end the bit of turmoil that this country has gone in. We're gonna try to
Excellent.
make you guys smile at the end. We're gonna try to be excellent to each other.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was yesterday that the teaser trailer. It's been called teaser trailer. It's also been called just the trailer.
It's
Bill
short.
and Ted.
It is
Bill
short.
and Ted are going to be facing the music in Bill and Ted Face the Music. Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves are back. We got the first trailer for this long-awaited movie, many years in the making. I mean, I
is
speak
exciting.
for myself when I'm a big Bill and Ted fan. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is one of the top 10 80s movies. That movie is high above and great, and it should be just held so high up in the air. And The Bogus Journey is awesome as well. And I've been waiting a long time for this. And to see both of these guys come back and in the just the style and everything, I got excited. I don't know about you, Corey.
I got excited when I saw that the trailer released. And then I watched it. Okay, so plot-wise. So there's like a council, and they're like, you guys have saved the world in the past. We need you to write the song to unite and save the world. And they're like, we can't come up with a song to do that. So why don't we just go to the future and steal it off of ourselves, and we'll save the world. And they go to the future and they find out that they haven't wrote a song to save the world, and the world is shitty.
As far as we've seen, because I love how you, the High Council from the first movie, and then of course in the second they were tasked with writing the song that would unite the world, and it harkens back. It says 25 years ago you played in front of 20,000 people.
Right.
2 days ago you played in front of 4 people in Arizona, and I'm pretty
And they were there
sure
for taco
all
night.
there for a $2 taco night.
Yeah.
And they're just beat down, and it seems like they're kind of just playing the same old kind of song and dance. Of course, they stand there in the trailer. They say, "Be excellent to each other, party on, dude." and you kind of get the sense that that's not working. So they need to find something that's going to work, to where they think, well, why don't we just go steal the song that unites the world from our future selves? And I mean, I was so excited before this movie came out, or before the trailer came out. But then seeing them run into themselves in
They're, like,
prison
jacked.
as buff bodybuilder guys, and they're singing like death, 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 and it's, you know, James, what do you think? What is the prospect of alternate Bill and Ted's that we're gonna see? What are you hoping to see more than anything?
I mean, I honestly don't truly know, because I haven't watched the second Bill and Ted. I've only ever seen the first Bill and Ted, and that was years ago. Only like 11, but that's years ago.
Yeah, you're pretty old as shit.
Yes, but I didn't like watch them. I don't know. And you said you made a Wayne's World reference when you were talking about that, because that was totally Wayne's World. But they're both the same, and I feel like they're
They are
not.
kind of both the
And
same.
but who's better? Which one's better? One's time travel, one's real.
Wayne's World is better. Wayne's World is better than
Yeah.
Bill and Ted. I mean, let's
Yeah,
just
for
put
sure.
that out there.
Absolutely.
Bill and
I'm
Ted
just saying.
2 is better than Wayne's World 2.
Incorrect, sir.
Bill and-
You are
Yeah, I
Wayne's
like
World
Wayne's
2 is bunk.
you're
No, it's
mistaken.
not. I like Wayne's World too. I like Wayne's
Anyway,
World.
so here,
But
this
no,
was...
okay. I will say there is. I hope it doesn't get cheesy, corny. You
well,
know,
it's gonna
still
be
make it
cheesy
zany and
corny.
weird. Because it's zany and weird anyhow, so it doesn't need to be like. I don't want something profound. I want something
Keanu
silly.
Reeves. Here's my thing when I watched it. I can't not take Keanu Reeves seriously anymore.
After seeing John Wick,
He has lost. He has
Right.
lost
Yeah.
his
It's
surfer
true.
dude.
yeah,
He lost it. He completely lost it.
I agree with that.
It's so weird how an actor that was typecast for so many years to be the goofy surfer dude, and no one could see him playing a serious role, to now where when I watched that trailer I was like, nope, he's bad.
Yeah.
He needs to go right back to the action movies because
Right.
he cannot do this anymore.
Yep.
And the other dude, we haven't seen him in anything to compare. He's
So
still the
fine.
same guy. So
I
like,
think Alex Winter's last project might have been, if not Bill and Ted's Bogus, he might have been in like some kind of
he was,
Television spot.
no, he was
sitcom
definitely
spot.
in another movie, but it
television
was low
spot,
budget.
or like a Lost Boys, because he was in the Lost Boys.
Yeah, he was in a movie,
He could
I
have
know
been
for a
in
fact.
like Lost Boys Part
Oh
7.
yeah.
But not anyone that anybody has seen. So to
Right.
anyone watching, he's still the same person. So you don't have
Yeah.
that other
Yeah.
image in your head. But to everyone else, we watched
Matrix?
Neo for 10
Right.
years, and then we watched
Yeah.
John Wick for the past
Yeah.
10 years,
The
and
The Replacements.
The Replacements.
I love that fucking
What's that
movie.
wedding movie?
Oh, it's him
Winona
and
Ryder.
what's her name?
Winona Ryder.
Yes, that's a great.
That's a great
fucking
movie. It's so stark and stale comedy, but if you
Yeah.
like that stuff, that movie's great. But he's also, Scanner Darkly, like
Yeah.
he was-
Street Kings is a great cop movie that he did back in like 2004.
nope, not anymore. It's bad.
Is it a bad movie? Oh,
It's called Look at you with the fake jokes. That's a big
This
joke.
guy.
Man.
But yeah, I just couldn't watch the trailer without just being like, I don't know. I felt like it's not gonna work because of Keanu Reeves. I don't
No.
think he can go goofy anymore.
I think he can do it. I think he's going to be able to do it.
All right. What do you think about?
Let's give it right now. Let's give early predictions on the movie. How many stars are you giving it right now? Only have seen the teaser trailer. Corey.
I'm giving it a 1.5.
Oof. Mayday.
2.
2. I'm going 4.
Oh, 4 stars? The
4
first
stars.
2 Bill and
I
Ted's
think
aren't
it's-
even 4 stars.
Right,
gonna
that's
be-
my
I think
thing.
it's gonna
Are
be-
we talking like for Bill and Ted movies, or are we talking?
Like overall
I think it's gonna be-
movies.
I think it's
Right,
gonna be-
'cause I'm like
I think
2.
it's going to be the perfect culmination of early '90s goofiness and actual, relevance to the modern day that we're living in. I think it's going to bring it
Sounds
all
like
together.
shit.
Does
Sounds
sound
And
like
shit.
shit.
Kid Cudi's
Sounds
in it,
shitty.
so don't shake it because
So what do you-
Cudi's in it.
So what do you think's gonna happen with the Matrix 4 then? You think
Oh,
that's gonna be
shit.
good?
terrible.
Oh, that's
gonna
gonna
be
be that's
terrible.
gonna be
Hold on.
terrible.
Oh, that's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
put this
terrible.
big on my notebook. Matrix 4 shit.
Shite. Put it down as shite.
Okay, shite.
There we go. Before we close out today, I just want to say a big giant thank you to everyone that listened to and watched last week's show.
Yeah, we got hype
Um,
last week, man.
We don't really, we never have really had too many listeners on the show. We're very modest and we're very humble, and we kind of just do it because it's very nice for us. But to have the amount of people listen or watch, and maybe
A lot of
they
people giving us
listen
feedback.
actually.
A lot of people giving feedback last week saying that it was good and it was good to hear.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people felt like we did, like we were kind of like releasing it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was. I think it was nice for
Definitely.
anybody that was watching. But yeah, thank you for listening.
Big thank you to Jordan Hoover last week, who
Yeah, for sure.
he brought such a great element to the show, and he
Always.
with his account of what actually happened at the peaceful protests that happened in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was really nice to have him on the show. And if you guys like Jordan Hoover, tell us about it, and we'll have him back on anytime you guys want.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's a welcome friend of the show. And if you guys have anybody else you guys want to see on the show,
If you
I
miss-
would be open
if you
to
miss
having
Michael
all kinds
Peterson-
of guests on the show.
Let us know.
There's a little black box down in the corner that's not filled in that, hey, if there's somebody that is passionate about a subject, and we'd love to have them on.
We also have the SoundCloud back up and running, so
There you go.
all 105 episodes are available at the moment. And I went back and listened to some of them.
Oh,
Man.
jeez.
Don't listen to episode 19.
Don't
Don't listen to episode 19.
You can
Is
go.
that
You
me?
can listen.
That's
we were
me.
sitting in the.
You know
We were
that's me. You know that's
Ma-
me. Take that off the fucking internet.
The first line is, "Come here, boy, suck this dick."
Oh, I remember that episode.
Oh,
Go
my.
listen to that. That episode. The things that some people have said do not reflect the
On the
views
actual
of other
sentiments
people
of the other
on the
people around.
podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, this has been the Strange Planet podcast. We have been your host. This has been
Corey James.
and
James May.
I've been Anthony Zabatek. Be excellent to each other and party on.
Hell yeah.